have, Rocco, you're here, we have an older American, right? So we have some people here in the audience I'd like to recognize as Older Americans Month. And I will read, whereas the month of May is traditionally set aside each year to recognize with gratitude the achievements and contributions of senior citizens, and whereas it has been so proclaimed by the President of the United States and the Governor of the State of New Jersey, and whereas life expectancy has increased and more than 47 million Americans are 60 years of age or older, and whereas older people are living longer and staying healthier and more active much later in life. Whereas Older Americans Month is an excellent time to focus the attention on the experiences of older Americans and then on the efforts of those who have worked to preserve the security, health, and independence of our nation's elders, including individuals and organizations who have joined with the Aging Network in collective efforts to enhance vital services for at-risk elderly in their community. Now therefore be it resolved that the Township Committee of the Township of Homedale hereby proclaims the month of May 2019 as Older Americans Month. Be it further resolved that the Township Committee of the Township of Homedale urges all Monmouth County residents to honor senior citizens and their significant contributions to society. Homedale Township Committee and Mayor Eric Hines. So Tony, come on up, guys. I mean, you guys are our lifeblood. Come on up, guys.
Come on, you guys come too.
No, whoever is
Over
over
60.
60.
Over
Over
60.
60? Come on,
Over
Bill and
60.
Dole.
Rocco, you actually called.
Leave all the children behind.
That's right,
More
yeah.
than you know.
I'm ducking out of the
I'm
She's the president.
I'm the
The president.
Yes, you don't even acknowledge, but that's okay. 15 minutes late.
Terry Dookie.
Thank you very much. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
It's really, seriously, me? Thank you, thanks. Oh, relax.
And listen, in Greek time, that's very early.
Relax, thank you.
Thank you, Older Americans.
Thank you.
Thank you, honey. All right, now, first, real quick, I just want to say something about our acting administrator. Chief Monicheski has stepped into the role of administrator, acting administrator, and he's done so with no additional pay. And I think that's very admirable. And I know things are challenging at Town Hall right now, and we appreciate and respect all the employees here at Town Hall, and I appreciate you stepping up and taking and filling this role temporarily right now. Thank you. Again, it shouldn't go unnoticed and unrecognized that things are challenging here right now. We understand that, but in this, for us up here, it's better to be trusted than loved, and we have a job to do, and we have to answer to the public, and we will get through this. So thank you. Okay. So anything to report?
I'm good.
You're good? Mr. CFO.
Just want to remind everybody, next week, the public hearing is scheduled for the meeting on the 21st, I believe the date is. Again, it's subject to state review, and they haven't touched it yet, so we have to wait to hear from them, find out if we do have the approval to adopt it next week, if we so choose.
Were you gonna be before the meeting, Bill, or after the meeting? Approval?
Thus far, they've been doing it the day of, they've been asking all the questions. They have such a limited staff up there that they are just trying to get through when they can. So we're not even guaranteed they're gonna look at it on the meeting day. They may just tell them at the public hearing and push it off on us.
So if they don't look at it, we can still hold our meeting and potentially adopt it, correct?
If they look at it and approve it, we can adopt it. If they don't look at it, we have to have the public hearings advertised, but they may make us put off the adoption to a later date.
Okay. And you'll know on Tuesday?
We'll know by Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Collins?
I do not have a report tonight, Deputy Mayor.
Very good. Engineering?
No report this evening.
Very good. Anything from the committee?
Yep, I got something.
Go
We're
ahead.
still in the process of looking for the
Rob,
location.
you want to
for-
put your mic on?
Glad.
Also glad. We're still looking at the different sites. We have at least one site. We'll have a proposal by next meeting for our firehouse, but we still have other options too. But we do have a site that hopefully we shall have priced out and basic drawings for next meeting. I'd like to, if they're in the audience, please stand up. Randy Raucher and Frank Trikowski, if they're there, please stand up. They're new firefighters and fire police. We really appreciate them helping us out. Thank you, Randy. Otherwise, end of my report.
Francesco?
I'd just like to echo what the deputy mayor said, and just thank the chief for stepping up in this temporary role and help run the town, and appreciate all the extra hard work that you're putting in, and especially that you did not want to get paid for this additional role, so we appreciate that. Thank you for.
I appreciate the daily updates every day that we receive from you. That's very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's it, so, public comment. Ralph, you have something to say?
Yeah. Communications
Yes.
is a key thing. And that's something that clearly has fallen flat. At last week's special meeting, Mr. Collins, you brought up that there are rules about how you can cancel and initiate meetings. And in particular, with regard to the canceling of the meetings of tonight and the 28th were included in the original calendar in January. In order to cancel, there's a special process. You indicated that wasn't followed, so the agreement, and I'm using this as a non-lawyer, as a layperson, what I heard, you'd have meetings on all 3 nights, 14, 21, and 28. However, all last week, and it was still there tonight at 7 p.m., a notice on the township website, it's like the 3rd or 4th thing on the website, you go, I presume it has to be changed since 7 o'clock, it says the meeting is canceled for the 14th and the 28th. That's not an appropriate way to communicate to the public. So if you decide to have a meeting and then cancel it, with the website saying the meeting's canceled, you can't expect the public to show, or whatever. At a minimum, it's confusing. I'm not a lawyer and I can't address what that makes tonight's meeting illegal.
Well, respectfully, you attempted to at the beginning of the meeting, which, I think the committee found to be out of order. With respect to the website, I think that's obviously something that the committee would want to make sure it gets addressed, because I don't think there's any intention to misinform the public, but
If that's an official.
you are here, so I mean, you seem to clearly know about the meeting occurring, as are the other individuals who were here, so I could certainly work with the clerk in looking at what is or isn't, but,
I'm not, as I said, I'm not a lawyer. Exactly what the appropriate procedure is, I don't know. But the website clearly is an official township way of notifying people. And if it says the meeting's canceled, to then hold the meeting, to me, is a conflict. A similar but different situation occurred last week on Tuesday.
Well, I'll speak to last week, and I already spoke to it in my public comments last week. It was an unusual circumstance, but notice was properly effectuated from my office because of some issues.
No problem.
But in terms of this one, I'll certainly look at the website, and we'll make sure that that doesn't happen again, and thank you for your comment.
Chief, who's updating the website right now, do we know?
Mark Kowaleski, but
No, it's not Barbara.
That's not what I thought
It's
it
not
was.
Barbara,
Okay.
no. We have somebody that does it,
Okay.
and I had a discussion with that person,
Okay.
and we'll see exactly, I didn't see it, so I'll have to double check.
Is that a PIO?
I'm sorry?
Is that our public information officer? Is he in charge of the website?
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
similar but different, I said Tuesday, not Monday. Monday was the special meeting. Tuesday night was a noticed meeting of the planning board. It was supposedly in part about Somerset and related matters. I came, and it was supposed to be at 7 o'clock. I came here at 5 of 7. There were 20, 25 people milling around, including at least one professional from Somerset. On the inner door was a notice saying that at 4:45 PM, the meeting had been canceled. The existence of that meeting and its agenda is still on the website. There is no notice anywhere else that the meeting was canceled. To put it mildly, that's not a good way of communicating with the community.
Ralph, your comments are noted. I appreciate it. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, Jenny.
My comment, Jenny Blumenthal, 41 Stony Brook Road. My comments are kind of out of left field, and it's an ancient history, but there's nothing much else to discuss, so I'll bring it up anyway. At the entrance to the circle in front of Town Hall, there is a sign that says that Homedale Township is a tree city. 5 years, tree city. This is a complete fiction. To be a tree city, you have to have a shade tree committee. We do not have a shade tree committee, even though it is still listed with no information on the township website. You have to be a tree city. To be a tree city, you have to have a shade tree commission. You have to spend $2 per resident on the cost of tree maintenance. You have to have trained people, and you have to have an Arbor Day festivity. Well, we don't do those things. I mean, you do spend the money in all sorts of strange ways, because for some odd reason, you can count destroyed Christmas trees as part of this $2 per resident fee. However, we haven't been, and you have to have a management plan, which has expired 4 years ago. And so this sign, it's not like being an Eagle Scout, where once you're an Eagle Scout, you're one there forever. You're only a tree city for this year that you are legally stated by the state forestry people. That sign is a figment of somebody's imagination and should be removed immediately. I have asked about 3 or 4 times, and it still sits there, and I think there's another one at Cross Farm also.
It's not the digital sign you're talking about, not the digital sign.
No,
It's
no,
a-
no, no, no.
it's a one sign?
I know, no, I know what
It's
you're
on a steel
saying.
Okay,
post with
okay.
a little metal thing,
Okay.
and,
I can have Victor take it down tomorrow.
the sad part about not being a tree city is that it leaves Homedale liable to damages for
Jenny.
any tree accident in town.
Jenny, a couple of years ago, we merged the Shade Tree Committee into the Environmental Commission.
Yeah, but that doesn't count as far as
Well,
the state's
it
concerned.
counts. I mean, they do meet, they do
It
discuss these.
doesn't count.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
You want them to be.
But also, since you don't have a shade tree committee, you can't apply for, grants from the state to take care of things.
State forestry.
And the forestry plan,
No,
you have to write a
you-
forestry plan.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
But the main
And
thing
that's-
is get rid of the sign because it's fake.
Well, one of the things with a shade tree committee is you actually need people that wanna, keep it consistent and keep it going. I understand that years
Well,
and
Eric
years
fired
past.
us all and we said, pooh, we're not coming back again.
Okay.
When you're done.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Don't leave.
Hold on.
Do you
Go ahead.
want a shade tree committee? You think it'll
We
benefit us?
we should have one, there's a heck of a lot of trees in
We'll have enough
town.
volunteers for it?
But everybody who was on the shade tree committee was so annoyed by being summarily dismissed with no thanks, that we said,
Well, you know what we'll do,
Have
since it's currently merged in with the Environmental Commission, at the next Environmental Commission, we'll direct the, commissioner, the commissioners to, invite the previous shade tree committee and see
all
if
of whom
it,
are gonna, some of them are dead.
well,
Half
then.
of them are dead. Joe Harris, John,
All right, well,
Isabel McFarland.
Mr. Mayor, if they don't work out something, maybe we can
we
redo it.
can, maybe we can put something on the website
It
once we get it
should be
updated, and we
something
can,
the
we can
town should
recruit
have, but it
new
requires
people
a
and
lot
get
of
some
work.
interest in that.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Jenny. Thank you. Yes, Tony?
Tony Brescia, 8 Squire Court. So this being Older Americans Month,
Yes.
you know there were no Older Americans Month only because of the lack of communication. So we did not get the message until Friday, when we had a meeting on Tuesday, telling us that we were supposed to be here today. So I just got the phone call this afternoon reminding me, oh, guess what, you're supposed to be here tonight. But going along those lines, before I went to Florida in April, I called the Garden State Arts Foundation to ask them to send us the tickets for the PNC Art Center free events for the seniors. I come back from Florida and I go into recreation and I leave a message for Allison asking, what happened to our tickets? I find out today that the tickets were delivered to the recreation, and that I believe Wendy
They're in the
has
clerk's
control of the tickets.
They're in the clerk's office.
And why are they not given to the Homedale Half Century Club for distribution? Why are they being told that they have to
When are you gonna sell them?
go there?
You wanna make money on them? You're selling them?
I mean, we have always done.
My
tickets.
understanding was when Cookie brought them
Yes.
to the clerk's office, which has happened in the past, is that the resident, it was put on the website and residents can come and get the tickets.
What website?
That's-
Where? I'm
It's on the
looking.
township website, I believe.
Okay, this is not how that works.
It's how it's worked in the last
No, we
3
had
years.
one man who was very ill, who used to come and get the tickets from there and distribute them to the, from Cookie.
Cookie.
Yeah, she's with Garden State Arts Foundation. So I would like those tickets back to the seniors so that we could distribute them at our next meeting, which is on Tuesday. So whenever you.
Tony,
have a
listen,
meeting
all
on
right, here,
Tuesday,
so,
bring the
okay,
tickets.
Tony, so we'll get in touch with Cookie.
Chief,
Eric sent them an email.
Cookie, okay, Chief, let's put something on the website that we have the tickets.
You have to take
And
this.
you have-
straight.
I believe
And let's get the
I believe
House Century
that
Club
it is
notified.
already on the website. What happened, there's a woman that,
Tickets do not have websites. We don't even have, we don't even have
I've had people
emails.
come in to get them
Because
already.
they're being told to go in and get them, but that is not the way this operates.
When is the next House Century Club meeting?
Tuesday, you guys are celebrating our older Americans.
There you go, so
Tuesday.
we'll have them there, for you.
Bring the
We'll bring the
tickets.
tickets there.
Thank you.
Very good. Yes, Ms. Brew.
Debbie Brew, 15 Cindy Lane. I just wanted to answer Tony that it is on the website, in case you didn't realize that. It is on the website, and I know that Eric Hines sent Terry an email with a list of where to get the tickets and to share them with the Half Century Club because I was copied on it.
But how do we get the tickets? We need the
The
tickets.
directions were
All
to
right.
the president,
Thank you.
Terry.
Mr. Iannello.
Dana, 18 Ladder Drive. Is there any update you can share with us on New Jersey Natural Gas?
That was a topic discussed in executive session tonight, no further comment.
So there's
No further update. Can't say anything.
Are they moving forward? Is that, you
I can't comment further.
Okay, is there any update on the land swap?
I have, we're going back into executive session after this meeting. We're not gonna take any action, but we have nothing further on that right now.
Is it likely to happen, or we don't know?
It's moving
happening.
forward.
It's moving forward, okay. With the rise in the school budget tax, if you will.
Right.
There's a lot of muttering throughout the town. Well, what about Bellworks? Well, what about the pilot money? And I just have a suggestion you may want to consider going forward. Why not each year, just tell the community, because we're proud of it, this is what Bellworks is generating revenue-wise, and this is what it's gonna go to. And maybe start in 17, 18, I know it's starting to accelerate. And then all these questions and, uncertainties and mutterings could end. Bellworks is generating $2 million in gross revenues for the town that we haven't had 3 years ago, and this is where it's going to. So I just think if you would provide more visibility on, and listen, if it can't go to offset school budget increases, then fine. But stop all the chatter and everything, and let's get the numbers out on the table, and then it'll be all in the open. That's my suggestion.
Okay.
The other thing, Bonnie paving, there's still issues obviously throughout the town. My big beef is still the Monmouth County roads in Homedale, which are atrocious and a joke. It's like third world country, and it makes you laugh when you see some of
It's bad.
when you see some of these Monmouth County representatives talk about how, I mean, it's a joke, the roads. But my question is, you paved, or Homedale paved a little court in Ladwood Drive last week with 2 houses on it. They brought in 10 trucks. I can't even imagine what it cost. Yet the entrance to Ladwood Drive, which has been like cannonball, and now throughout the winter they were filling sand in it. Now they put patch in. We just can't fathom why you would bring in all of that equipment, beautifully pave that court with 2 houses on it, and not address the apron into Ladwood Drive. Now, it's easy for a resident to come up here and say, why didn't you just do that? But why didn't you just do that?
Well, that's all done through Public Works, that's not done through.
And you don't have
here.
any
I
influence
can
on
ask
that?
I can ask Mr. Stevens to provide a response and get back to you.
Okay, if we're gonna have all that equipment there, we have this troubled area that has to be addressed every few
Chair,
years.
hearing.
Okay, thank you.
Wait, Mr. Mayor, one thing, cut me off, Mr. Attorney, if I can say this. we're still fighting on natural gas. Can I say that?
I wouldn't get into any details. I mean,
That's what's
we know the case is
Okay.
pending, we know the township's in the case.
Thank you.
You know, it's the subject of ongoing litigation.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
My name is Niket Gupta, Can Ashtonport. A question for Committeeman Pascucci. You mentioned that you have identified few sites for the firehouse, and you're pretty close on one of those. Can you share with us what are the criteria you're looking at when you exploring those sites? And what is the site that you are so close that you're gonna declare next week?
I can't tell you the site, but it will be out next meeting. What we're looking for is enough space, access to the roads where it's not gonna interfere with traffic. Of course, interference with people's lives and their homes, so there's a lot of things. So we're looking for a site, hopefully that we own, so it doesn't cost us anything,
Okay.
that is easily accessible to the roads, has to be in the center of town, and least problems for township people.
Okay, so center of town, when you mentioned, I thought south side of town that was underserved. North side is mainly covered by Centerville. Is that,
We need to cover the whole town. So
Okay.
when our fire study came, what it was, and we all signed on to it, all of us, is we need a centrally located firehouse that can serve the north as well as the south. We all wish we could afford two, but if we have a centrally located firehouse, that can access both areas.
so does it mean we're gonna abandon the one we have right now on the Centerville once you have the second one?
We're gonna keep one of them. So if we don't redo, and I'm talking a little outside class, if we don't do the one on Crawford's Corner Road, we will still keep the Centerville. We will still keep a second firehouse.
Okay.
God forbid something happens at one, we do need a second one operating in the meantime. So we will keep two firehouses, but one will be the main firehouse where they eat, they sleep, they play, they lift weights. That's gonna be the main firehouse.
Okay. Are we looking to convert any of the farmlands for this purpose at this point?
We're not looking to take any farmland. We do have land that we own that we're looking to take, but we're not looking to take over any farmland.
Okay, so.
Please.
No, okay,
No.
because there was rumor in the town that, the lot at the intersection of Roberts and Crawford's Corner was being considered, and you were concerned about that.
If it is being considered, it will not be any farmland. It would be some open space that we own, not a farm, not a farmland, something that's actually farmed or a working farm. That's not gonna happen.
Do you live in the area?
Yes,
I'm sorry, what was your address?
Ashtonport.
Oh, Ashton, okay.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna try to do our best. I live right next to the one on Centerville. I mean, I live in the seniors, and they go out every day, and I really don't hear them. Whether they don't blow the horns when they're pulling out, I don't know what they're doing. But I could spit to the firehouse from where I live, and I really don't hear them. So we wanna make least impact on the residents. So there is one site we're gonna come forward, and there's at least two others we're looking at.
Okay.
And the public will have input, but we're gonna have to decide on which one. And central is our main thing, it has to be central.
So it has to be central, and you're gonna give few options that's gonna get.
We're gonna look at
discussed, or-
several options, and then we're gonna discuss it. You'll be here, it'll be open public meeting, you can
Okay.
listen to us,
Okay.
and then hopefully we'll agree on the site.
How long have you lived in town?
I've been living in town for about, since 2009, but we moved into this address last year.
Last year, okay.
So you're in Bell Works?
Yes.
So you're aware that there was a previous proposal on the table, right, and they put a firehouse in the back of the Bell Works property?
Yeah, we kind of did agree with that. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
That was not a good option either.
Yeah.
We don't want anything right next to
Yeah.
someone's house, but whether it's close, I don't know.
So you're saying you're considering that area, that you consider it the.
Anything in the central of Homedale that we own, this is considered the central. So go out a few miles from either way, that's the area we're considering.
One of the problems with Homedale is, and when it comes to fire safety, really is geography. So you have a large amount of people living in the northern section of town, and you've unfortunately had fires in the southern end of town. Getting from one end of town to the other in a timely and expeditious manner is challenging when you're driving a 100,000-pound vehicle, especially weighted down. It's not easy to negotiate Tacaloosa, Telegraph Hill, or Homedale Road with those vehicles, and you can't speed fast to get to some of these locations. So one of the recommendations by Dr. Carter, who conducted the fire study for the town was that they wanted a centralized location. We also have to keep in mind that most of our firefighters that we currently do have, and the ones that we are getting, live in the northern part of town. But I appreciate you speaking this evening. It takes guts and courage to speak about that, and I appreciate it. So we'll keep that in mind. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Going once? Yes, Mr.
Just, before you
Chief.
close,
We're gonna go into, I'm gonna make a motion to go back into executive discussion.
okay, but I just wanna just say on the record, Barbara has been very helpful to me, so I didn't wanna make it look like I was throwing her under the bus. I will work with her to fix this website.
Yeah, I wrote down, I know.
Okay.
All right.
Make a motion?
Motion to go into executive session? We're
And
not
it'll,
gonna-
it'll be based upon the items set forth on the executive resolution
We're not
that was
taking
on the
any action.
agenda. We're just continuing it because we didn't finish
We
the
haven't
items
had
at
executive,
the,
we're not gonna catch up.
at the early one, so, there won't be any action following, but, you need a motion and a second to go into closed.
Second.
Second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.